Good everyone, and welcome to today's test video. And today we are going on to Plague Inc. I'm just going to turn down the sound because it sounds a bit too loud in my opinion. So Plague Inc. is a game where you can basically develop your own plague, and you have to kill the world basically. For today's video only, we're going to be starting out with the bacteria, and I will warn you, I am very rusty at Plague Inc. I haven't actually played it in almost 7 months, according to Steam at least. It's a nice game, it's just I do not play it very often as I should. There has been a recent Shadow Plague that has been added where you control a vampire and things like that. That should be pretty fun if we get around to that. Obviously, I run these test videos to see how you guys respond. If you do want to see more of Plague Inc., please let me know. So, we're going to jump into single player. And we're going to go straight into bacteria. I am all the way up to bioweapon, which should be named James Ego, but gloss over that. There's also the simian flu from the Planet of the Apes series, and here is the Shadow Plague. This should be a pretty fun one. I've never completed it, same with the simian flu and the bioweapon. But the rest I have, including the necrovirus which basically controls zombies. But we're going to start out with the bacteria gene, or the bacteria, shall we say. We're going to go with genetic mimic because you get all these genetic codes. This makes our cure slightly harder to cure, or our plague slightly harder to cure. Terracite, increasing by land. Plague will xerophile, bonus in all climates. Well, arid climates, that's extremophile, that's what I'm on about. I don't have this unlocked yet. And I need to beat the main game, basically. And obviously, bonus DNA when devolving. I believe bacteria lets us do that. So we're going to go normal. Your mum's asshole was what I did many months ago, so we're going to go with James Ego. There we go. We should automatically win. Sadly, this is not the case. So, you may notice the map of the world. Yeah, we get to go worldwide if we want to. Well, we don't want to. We need to go worldwide to win. The best starting place I usually go for is Saudi Arabia. So this is where we're going to start. So James Ego begins in Saudi Arabia. I should have started in the UK up near Scots and all that, but whatever. So, we are I'm too busy trying not to laugh because I know he's going to rip me one, but whatever. Obviously, the game will start out progressively slow, so I am going to put it up to the 3 times speed. Those orange DNA bubbles give us bonus points, and this is where we can upgrade our disease. So, James' ego is beginning to spread. That's a bad thing. Well, for humanity it is. And, well, let's go into the transmission, the symptoms, and the abilities of our disease. So, transmission. This essentially is how you would make your disease a bit more around the world. The best ones to go for are for air and water, but we're going to go with air. Symptoms. You tend to want to keep the symptoms quiet, which is what we're going to do for the moment. So I'm not going to go all the way through and do a full playthrough of bacteria. I'm going to keep it. I'll do about halfway and then we'll save it and all that. But well, we can't really save it. I'm just going to demonstrate it, and then we can potentially do a series on this. Obviously, not name it James Ego, but even so. Obviously, the more severe your symptoms, the more chance you are of getting detected. And you can go all the way up to things like total organ failure, dysentery, and things like that. The abilities are like cold resistance, heat resistance, drug resistance, and a bacterial resilience, which essentially gives the bacteria a bit more of a chance to survive in certain climates. Here is one that you can actually have quite a good look at. These are the news, and those really help if you need to learn about your plague, and if you've been potentially spotted, James Diego has now infected hundreds in Saudi Arabia. But obviously, the whole point of the game is to go worldwide. That includes fucking Greenland. Greenland is a nightmare to infect, because once that port closes, you're screwed. Oh, we've got a Brexit joke here. Lovely. There's a lot of jokes that happen in the game as well, with like the news. And thousands. Jamie is spreading like a madman. But it's now spread to South Africa. It naturally spreads across the map. It doesn't need... Oh, it's gone into the UK. Perfect. Which means I'm next. But it's just... Obviously, you can see there, we just saw a plane go up to near Sweden, I think it was, or it might have been Russia. And as you can see, we are spreading a lot across the world right now. A plane's just gone to the... Well, Mexico. As you can tell, I'm not very affiliated with geography. Just gone to Japan. That's gone near there. America's just been hit. Iceland's just been hit. Brazil and New Zealand. And that is a bad thing. The rash symptom has mutated. So, we can refund it by devolving it. Your disease will naturally mutate, so you gotta keep on top of this. And if you get caught, chances are you ain't got a lot of time to infect the world. So let's pump Water 1 and Air 2. Because now our bacteria will be able to spread through the air and through filters. Obviously, we've just been told there that Australia's just been infected, and so has South Africa, Sudan, and there's a lot of places being infected now. This is the sort of thing that you want to see. The best advice I can give is to get all the way around the world first, and then start killing, basically. You want to make yourself a good foothold in every location. That includes Greenland. Flippin' hell, James, you're doing well. It will give you fun facts about diseases that actually happened IRL, such as the Black Death, the Spanish flu, and obviously, as you saw there, HIV. So you've just got to spread your plague around the world, and you've just got to develop it to, well, do its job, really. Obviously, you saw there, we just upgraded our plague to Water 2. More infectious than the common cold. So, you've just got to... And there are random noises that the game will make, which is that beeping sound. But the thing is, though, we want to get to Greenland as soon as possible. And the point of this is to obviously get around the world. I mean, West Africa's just starting to go down. And the CIS system has mutated, which is a bad thing for us. We'll quickly devolve that, because we don't want to get detected early. Getting detected early is pretty much a death sentence for your plague most of the time. Obviously, because we're playing on a lower difficulty, which is sort of in the middle, we are going to be struggling. But obviously now we're racking up loads of DNA points, so that's what we need to upgrade our plague. Obviously, New Zealand is slowly being infected, but to help it, we're going to go Drug Resistance 2. Drug Resistance 2 is a very, very handy one to have, because now we'll be able to spread in more populated areas. The Rio Olympics, this is another one that will help your plague. But obviously, Brazil and all that are pretty much fully infected, so we don't need to worry about too much about those. Your main concern will be Greenland. But obviously, there's only a port. And Greenland's just been infected, but so is anemia, which we need to get rid of. But then obviously we can go extreme bioaerosol, but we're not going to go for that. We're going to go for cold, because I've noticed the plague is struggling in Russia. If you choose Saudi Arabia, your plague will be naturally immune or resistant to hot weather. Cold areas are probably going to be your best, or your worst nightmare. Obviously, the Caribbean and all the places like that are fully infected. Madagascar is obviously fully infected. But you can see here, Norway, that's just completely gone now. Now that we've gotten Cold Resistance 2, Norway's completely gone, Russia's completely gone. And it's not long before we will infect the entire world. I know I said I was gonna, and look, here we are, James Eager needs to evolve to kill. It does that already. But as you can see, we have just 20 million people healthy. And now, James Ego has spread it all across the world. Well, soon enough. You've just got the little places to deal with now. But obviously, no one is dead. We have not been detected. I did say we was going to go... Oh, coughing. To be fair, we can let that happen now because now we are all the way around the world. But we're almost there, and James Ego has now fully infected the world. Let's start killing, shall we? So, we're going to start off nice and simple. Pneumonia, pulmonary fibrosis, and one of my favourites, total organ failure. Look at the severity and look at the lethality. This is how lethal your pathogen will be, and it is very effective. So now all the organs in the human body are basically under threat from that. But let's go one step further. Coma, paralysis, systemic infection. I think that should do it, don't you think? And now you sit back and watch the magic happen. New worrying disease spreading. And a diagnostic team in Russia has identified a new disease which has been named James Ego. It is quite severe and must be investigated further. Other countries are also reporting this disease, but obviously it will say that regardless, even if you're not worldwide. First death from James Ego has been confirmed in Peru. Well, there's going to be a lot more than that, let me tell you. Caribbean shut down its seaports, but obviously it's too late for that. You can see now that the cure has started. The Black Death, it's killed more than the Black Death already. But there's the Spanish flu. The cure is something you're going to want to try and fight. And we can do that. We can make it harder for our pathogen to be detected. Well, to what's the word? To be used and things like that. But the advantages with playing a bacteria, we can start devolving our transmissions. As we are a bacteria, we can devolve and not get penalized for it. So now we're up to 29. So then we have some points in the bank if we need them to start getting rid of that cure. But as you can see, the dead is rising rapidly. But at this point, it's already too late, so let's make it a bit worse for the people, shall we? Tumors, immune suppression, pulmonary edema, and let's go diarrhea, give them the shits. And then obviously dysentery, which is quite bad. But you can see the world's just completely gone. I've left it on the infected and all that. And you can see the world is just completely gone. And that is Plague Inc. in a nutshell. So that is how you play Plague Inc. Obviously we've done the bacteria, which I didn't really want to do, but we got so far, I got kind of carried away. But yep, James Ego has destroyed humanity. Job done. And he's going to be very pissed off, but there we go. James Ego has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. 3 biohazard symbols out of 5. And obviously we got a new gene for it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video on Plague Inc. Obviously we've done bacteria now, so we will move on to virus next, which is a bit harder to play, but we'll soon get there. Obviously if you do want to see more from this series of Plague Inc., please do let me know and I can get started it. If people are interested in Plague Inc., there is a channel called Pravis Gaming, which I recommend you check out. Maybe even say hi from me if you want. He's got about, I think it's like 200,000 subscribers, 300,000 subscribers. But he loves to play Plague Inc. and things like that. He plays a lot of the community tab, which is obviously in the scenario creator and things like that. And obviously scenarios, custom scenarios, speedrunning, etc. But yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video on Plague Inc. Jamed, sorry mate, but it had to be done. See you all on the next one.